In today's video, I'm going to share with you the easiest way to make $5 million a day as a solo player in GTA Online. Before we get into it, I do want to mention that I have done a guide like this in the past, and while that one still works, this is actually an updated version because it requires you to have less businesses and therefore requires you to have less money to start it up. So with that being said, to start off the money grind, we have to set up our passive business, which is going to be the nightclub. Now the business has two ways to make money. The first one being with the wall safe and the second one being with the warehouse portion of the nightclub. Now the warehouse portion of the nightclub requires you to own multiple businesses, which costs a lot of money. So for this guide, we won't be using it at all. We are only going to be focusing on the wall safe. So to make money with the wall safe, all you gotta do is make sure your nightclub popularity is completely maxed out. If it is, $50,000 will be deposited into the wall safe every in-game day or 48 minutes. Now there's a few ways to increase the popularity of your nightclub, but the two best is to switch between DJs, which will cost money, but it does replenish a set amount of popularity each time. And the other way is to get rid of disturbances in the nightclub. So feel free to choose whichever way you want to replenish your popularity. But once you've got it maxed out, we could now start the active money grind. So the first thing you're gonna do is a payphone hit. Now in order to unlock these, you'll have to have an agency and have done 3 security contracts. Once that's done, you can then call up Franklin at any time and request a payphone hit. And these are simple assassination missions where you have one or multiple targets to take out. And if you complete the assassination while also completing a specified bonus, you will earn $85,000. These take anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes to do, so they're really easy, but they do have a 48-minute cooldown. So once you've done your first payphone hit, set a timer for 48 minutes because throughout the rest of this grind, we're going to want to do another 5. Next, you're then going to start up the best way to make money in the entire game, which is a Cayo Perico heist. In order to do so, you'll have to have the Casaca submarine, but once you've done that, you are then able to do the heist. The heist takes between 45 minutes to an hour if you've done it enough times and you have the Sparrow, which is the helicopter that can be stored in the back of the submarine. If not, if you're new to it and you don't have the Sparrow, it will likely take you an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. On average, the heist will pay out anywhere between $1.3 to $1.5 million, but for the first time through, if you complete it flawlessly, you get the elite challenge and a decent primary target, you will make about $1.35 million. If you need help completing the heist, I'll leave my link to the complete guide in the description down below. So that is an incredible way to make money, but unfortunately the Cayo Perico heist has a 2.5-hour cooldown for solo players, so we're gonna have to do something in the middle. Now in the guide that I made at the end of last year, this time was filled with the Dr. Dre contract, which is still a great way to make money in the game, and if you want to do that, you can, but there is now actually a better way to make money in this cooldown period, and that is through the Hangar. The Hangar is a business that for a long time nobody used because it wasn't worth it, but now we could be making upwards of $700,000 as a solo player just by sourcing and selling cargo. So the way the Hangar business works is we go out and we source cargo crates one at a time. We bring them back to the warehouse, and then whenever we want, we could sell on those crates for a profit. Now in the past, the business was not solo friendly, but now they've added land, source, and sell missions, which have made things a lot easier. The source missions take anywhere between 3 to 7 or 8 minutes to complete, and the sell missions always guarantee one sell vehicle, meaning that we can fill up the warehouse completely and sell it as a solo player. Now, if you want to make these source missions easier for yourself, I do suggest getting a Hangar up in Fort Zancudo because the location is better all around, and make sure you have something like a Sparrow that will allow you to get around the map pretty quickly. If you have both of those, you could be doing these source missions in 3 to 4 minutes, but if you don't, they may take you a little bit longer, closer to 7 or 8. For the most part, these source missions are very simple. There are 3 that I would suggest avoiding though. If you do see, go to Paleto Bay, Alamo Sea, or El Burro Heights. Make sure you load into a new session and start up a new source mission because those ones take considerably longer than the rest. Now, one thing that is unique to the Hangar business is that unlike other cargo businesses, when we reach a certain amount of crates sourced for each type of product, you can actually earn a percentage bonus on the sale. And I will leave the spreadsheet up here on the screen. You can see that it is a tiered system. The more crates of a certain type of product you have, the higher the bonus will be on the final sell mission. Now, as you can see, the highest bonus you can earn is 50 crates for either narcotics, chemicals, or medical supplies. But these source missions do have a cooldown, so in order to be as efficient as possible, you're actually going to alternate between 2 of those 3 types of goods. So with that being said, for the entire 2.5 hour cooldown time, you're going to want to source between those 2 products back to back to back. And at the end of it, assuming that you're doing these source missions in about 5 to 6 minutes time, you should have about 12 to 13 of each type of crate by the 2.5 hour mark. Now, there is a catch for this part of the money grind because we're not going to sell at the 12 to 13 crate mark. We want to wait until we hit 25 crates of each. So you're actually going to have to do this entire process 2 times through, whether it be on the same day or 2 separate days. But keep in mind that you still have generated $1.5 million worth of value in this time. Now, when you do eventually source 25 crates of each and do the sell missions, each sell mission at base will make $1 million. But if you sell in a public lobby with 20 or more people, which is completely doable since we're guaranteed 1 sell vehicle, you can actually make upwards of $1.5 million, meaning that in total you're making $3 million across the 2 days, or in other words, $1.5 million per day. Now, if waiting to sell the product is something you don't want to do, then I suggest sticking with the Dr. Dre contract in the meantime. But if you do decide to do these Hangar source missions and eventually a sell mission on your second time through, this is going to make you considerably more money. But with that being said, once you've grinded that out for 2.5 hours, you can then go and start up your second Perico heist, which should net you about $1.4 million or more, because this time you're doing it on hard mode, which will change the elite challenge bonus from $50,000 to $100,000, and it gives you a 10% buff on all the loot you take. And once that's done, all you gotta do to finish things off is collect the money from your nightclub wall save, which should be about $200,000 to $250,000 at this time. So with that, if you did the payphone hits every 48 minutes, as well as everything else I said in this video, you will have made $5 million in a single day as a solo player in GTA Online. Now, if you are a beginner player that needs help getting to this point where you could afford all these businesses, I will leave a link in the description down below to a video showing you how to go from $0 to your first 10 million. And if you need help with the source and sell missions for the Hangar business, I will leave a link to my solo guide in the description down below. Anyways, I hope this video helped. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.